Loving you, it's easy 'cause you're beautiful. Do. Ah, shit. I'm sorry, I didn't see you come in. Hi, how's it going? This is Hugh from Plaguelands Media, bringing you another board game. I apologise that it's been so long, and I apologise that I'm breaking the Hostage Negotiator playthrough, but I wanted to bring you Marvel Champions, primarily the Red Skull from the Rise of the Red Skull expansion pack, asked for by Ian Van Gammet, of course. Now, one second. Delicious. Now, before I get started, I just want everyone out there to know that Ian has another exhibition coming up at the end of October at Gallery 88 in Katoomba. The artwork is fantastic, inspired by Dante's Inferno and Milton's Paradise Lost. So please go and check that out. Follow Ian and Plaguelands Media on Instagram, Facebook. You can go to Redbubble. You can go to our website, plaguelandsmedia.com. Check it out. We have a lot of things in the works, a lot of things coming up, but for the month of October, this exhibition is going to be big. It's going to be fantastic. So if you like pictures full of eyeballs and toothy vaginas, this is your exhibition. Please hit subscribe down below so the 20 other people don't feel lonely. And without further ado, let's get this fucking shit to the table. Okay, this is Marvel Champions, the card game. I apologise for the noise upstairs. My neighbours are fucking a-holes. We are playing Red Skull. Thank you, Ian, for suggesting Red Skull from the Rise of the Red Skull expansion pack. We have our side scheme deck up here. Our main scheme, he starts with the red house in play. Apparently he's taken over the White House with the help of the reality gem. We will be playing with Doctor Strange. Recovery of 3. Begins the game with his invocation deck, which is just there. And I can discard the top card of the invocation deck as my action once per phase. And we flip him over. Thwart of 2, attack of 1, and defense of 2. With the spell mastery action, we exhaust him and we can play the top card of the invocation deck. Just so nobody accuses me of cheating, I will shuffle the encounter deck one last time. And I will shuffle my deck one last time before drawing my hand size of 6. And flipping over the top of the invocation deck. Okay, the top of the invocation deck is the Winds of Watum. I draw 3 cards, it costs 0 to play. That is a great first card. 2. Okay, we are playing Justice Aspect. We have Mystic Studies, Alter Ego action, costs 1, Daredevil, Sorcerer Supreme, gives me an extra hand size when I'm in hero form, Genius, Concussive Blow, and Beat Cop. I'm going to get rid of Concussive Blow, Beat Cop, Mystical Studies, and Daredevil. And draw 4 new cards. Getting Under Surveillance, Protective Ward, foiled, and Magical Enhancements. Okay, not a bad turn. Now I can't actually damage Red Skull while the Red House is in play, so I'm going to have to get rid of that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip over. I'm going to tap to play Winds of Watoomb to draw 3 new cards, getting Quake, Power of Justice, and good old Nick Fury. That goes to the discard pile, and we get the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak. Stun the enemy and deal 7 damage. Place this card in the Invocation deck discard pile. That is probably the best Doctor Strange spell. Now, we're going to play the Sorcerer Supreme using the 2 resources from Genius. That gives me a hand size of 6. We are going to use the Power of Leadership to put in under surveillance. So instead of the threat level being 8, now that threat level is 12. I'm going to play Foiled to play Magical Enhancements. No, I'm not, because he's already tapped. So I'm going to do something very silly. I'm going to play all 4 to get Nick Fury into play. I'm going to choose to remove 2 threat from a scheme. And then I'm going to have him thwart. Might as well just get rid of that side scheme, because the Red Skull, basically his attack gets higher the more side schemes in play. Nick Fury takes 1 damage for doing that. I draw up to my hand size of 6. Followed, Cloak of Levitation, awesome. Eye of Agamotto, awesome. This is just a brilliant hand. Okay. 1 threat goes on. Whoops, that's 3. 1 threat goes on the main scheme. We have to draw a side scheme. Prison Camps. This has an acceleration, threat of 3 when defeated. The player searches the deck and discard pile for an ally, puts it into play and shuffles their deck. That is brilliant. Red Skull is going to attack for 1 plus 1 with the boost icon, and he gets the tough status. So he's going to attack for 2. Nick Fury is going to block, and then Nick Fury is discarded. Okay, not bad at all. And now it is the encounter phase. We get Master Strategist attached to Red Skull. When Red Skull activates, give him an additional boost card for each side scheme in play. Oh, that sucks. Okay. We are going to spend 2 to bring in the Cloak of Levitation. We are going to spend 2 to bring in the Eye of Agamotto. Cloak of Levitation lets me ready. Eye of Agamotto gives me a wild resource. And I'm going to spend that wild resource to put Followed on this side scheme. I am then going to thwart for 2. I'm going to tap to ready. I'm going to thwart for 2. Okay, which defeats this side scheme. When it is defeated, search my deck and discard pile for an ally and put it into play. I'm going to put Nick Fury back into play. When Nick Fury enters play, choose one, remove 2 threat, draw 3 cards, or deal 4 damage to an enemy. I'm going to deal 4 damage. That's going to get rid of the tough status. And with followed, when attached scheme is defeated, deal 4 damage to the enemy, bringing Red Skull down from 12 to 8. And why not? Nick Fury is going to attack for 2, bringing Red Skull down to 6, doing 1 consequential damage. My turn has ended, so I ready everything. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we have Power of Justice from last time, Protective Ward, Sanctum Sanctorum, Wong, Concussive Blow, and Endurance. Again, pretty strong hand. So, 1 threat goes on the main scheme. Our next side scheme is the Sleeper Awakens. This scheme cannot leave play while the Sleeper is in play. And there is no threat on that. We just have to defeat the Sleeper, and he is a piece of shit. 1 scheme, 3 attack. He has guard, so we can't actually attack Red Skull until we've defeated him. Retaliate 1. If we attack him, we're going to get hit for 1 damage. And toughness, which blocks 1 whole attack unless our attack has piercing. Okay, so Red Skull is going to attack for 1, but we have to deal extra boost cards. And Nick Fury is going to take this. So we get 1, 2. Red Skull gets a tough card, and during this is a defended attack, so he deals 2 damage, killing Nick Fury again. But Nick Fury did his job, and Red Skull is now tough. The Sleeper is going to attack. I will take the hit. 1, 2, 3 damage, putting me down to 7. And our encounter card is Gang Up. The villain and each minion engaged with you attacks you. Okay. This actually, whoops, this goes away after he attacks. So the villain is going to attack again. I am not going to block this, so he's going to hit me for a 1. And I exhaust. Wow, so he hits me for 1. I'm exhausted, and the Sleeper is going to hit me for 3, so I went from 7 down to 3 life. Okay. I could have actually played Protective Ward there. I simply forgot I had it. That's on me. Well, what shall I do? What shall I do? Alright, here's what I'm going to do. First thing is first. I'm going to use Power of Leadership and Sanctum Sanctorum to play Concussive Blast, confuse the enemy, and if I paid using a strength resource, deal 3 damage. So this counts as 2 for justice, plus 1. So he is confused, and that gets rid of his tough status. The 3 damage basically just blocks that. Okay. Okay. I'm going to use the cloak to ready. I'm going to spend Endurance and Wong to play the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak, stunning him and dealing 7 damage. He is currently on 6 health, putting him down to 0, which means we move him to his second and final phase. Now I can do that even though the Sentinel has guard, because I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm going to have to rewind that whole turn. Give me one moment. 6. Okay, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I have to rewind that whole turn. He is not stunned and he is not confused. He is still tough. Okay, the reason I have to rewind that whole turn is because he was tapped, he was exhausted. Is because he has guard, Sleeper has guard, and concussive blow says this is an attack, so I cannot get through. So I'm going to change my tactic here. I'm going to use the Sanctum Sanctorum to play Endurance, giving me 3 extra health, putting me back up to 6. I'm going to play 1, 2, 3 to play Concussive Blow, but this time on the Sleeper. So I'm going to confuse the Sleeper and get rid of his tough status. I'm going to use that to ready. I'm going to flip to my alter ego side, and I'm going to recover 3, putting me back up to 9. This is probably a bad idea, but that is okay. Alright, now we ready everything. 2, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. 1 threat. He's now at 16 health. I should have. 1 threat goes on there. We get another side scheme, which is Mass Chaos. Each player discards the top 5 cards of their deck and places 1 threat here for each different type of resource. One, two threat there, not bad. We had 2 different types of resources. I can deal with that. Okay, he's not going to attack, he's going to scheme. He has a scheme of 3, 4. That puts that from 7, okay. He is not going to scheme because I confused him, and our encounter card is Red Skull's Luger. Red Skull's attack gains piercing and ranged. Piercing ignores tough, and ranged basically ignores retaliate. Okay, and he has +1 attack and +1 scheme. Okay, I've got to do 16 damage to him. Okay, well, I'm going to flip. I am going to thwart for 2 to get rid of that side scheme. I'm going to ready. I'm going to use the Wild and Magical Enhancements to play the Crimson Bands of Cyttorak. That's going to get rid of the Sleeper. That and that are both out of the game. Now I can hit him. That was not an attack, so it doesn't get retaliate. I am going to one, two, three to get out Mockingbird. When Mockingbird comes into play, we stun villain. I'm going to attack him for 1 to get rid of the tough status. Doing 1 consequential damage, and I'm saving Protective Ward. And I ready everything. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. We get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 threat on the main scheme, putting it up to 8. If I hadn't had under surveillance, I would have had to move to the next scheme. There is... oh, we got to put a new side scheme in play, which is Hydra Reinforcements. This player who defeated this scheme discards a non-elite unit, or a non-elite minion. We have to deal ourselves an extra encounter card. He is stunned, and we get 2 encounter cards. First one being an attachment. Insight 1 attached to a side scheme. When the side scheme is defeated, deal the first player an encounter card. Okay, so that attaches to a side scheme. Insight 1, we add 1 scheme to the main threat. Oh, fudgesicle. Shadows of the Past. Actually, this is a treachery card. This is probably the worst treachery card in the game. Now, I have a way to deal with that. I'm going to use the Eye of Agamotto to play Protective Ward to cancel all of its effects. I've been holding on to that card for the longest time. Thank Christ, because I would have had to put all of these into play and into the encounter deck, and I don't want to do that because that sucks. Okay, my turn. What am I going to do? I'm going to tap, play Master of Magic to give me tough and her tough. It's not going to matter because the Luger has piercing. I could get rid of the Luger, however. Let's reveal. Fuse the villain. Oh. Okay. I'm going to ready. And you know what? I'm going to spend 3 different resources to get that Luger out of here. And then I am going to pay 1 to play Images of Arconin, confuse the enemy, remove 4 threat from a scheme. Okay, so he's confused, and I'm going to remove 4 threat from that scheme. Okay. And I have the Vapors of Valtor left. Okay, this is going to be bad. I'm going to have 3 encounter cards this turn. You know what? I'm going to stay in hero mode. We'll see what happens here. Okay. Have to draw. I don't have enough cards, so I reshuffle my deck. Still haven't hit him in this form. That's not good. I don't know actually how we're doing. Okay, so I have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Give me some good cards. Come on. For Justice, Quake, Beat Cop, Astral Projection, Mystic Stars. Okay, so it's alright. It's okay. Put one on there. Draw a side scheme. Censor the past. Each player chooses up to 3 cards in their discard pile and shuffles them into their deck. That has 3 threat on it. He is going to attack. He has 1, 2, 3. I will take this. 4, 5. Gets rid of the tough status, so I take no damage. Then we draw an encounter card. We get an encounter card here. And because we shuffled our deck again, I should have drawn that encounter card the minute that deck was shuffled, but it doesn't matter. So we get a Hydra Flame Soldier, Hydra Regular, and Assault. The villain is going to attack me, doing 1, 2, 3. I'm going to take this again, 4 damage, putting me down to 5. Okay. Okay, I'm going to use Genius to play Astral Projection. Choose a scheme, remove 3 threat from that scheme. Look at the top card of the encounter deck. I'm going to get rid of Sense of the Past because I don't like that acceleration token on there. And because of that, I can shuffle these back into my deck. Okay. Next, he is going to use Vapors of Voltaire to change Confused into Stunned. Shuffle the Invocation deck. On top is, oh my god. Okay. Ready. He's going to spend these 2 to cast Crimson Bands of Cyttorak. He's already stunned, but I will deal... Whoops, he had Insight 1 on him. I will deal him 7 damage, putting him down to 9. And use the Eye of Agamotto and For Justice to get out Quake. Okay, Mockingbird is going to attack for 1 damage. Quake is going to attack him for 2 damage, putting him down to 6. And we flip over and we get Images of Iconon. Okay. We draw back up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Interesting. Okay, 1 threat on the main scheme. We shuffle the side scheme deck and we get out Prisoner Camps again. Just got rid of that one. Okay, he is going to attack for 1, 2, 3, but he is stunned. Support you control. Okay, he's going to attack for 1. I'm not going to defend. And I have to discard a support I control. I don't control any support cards. He's going to attack for 2. Mockingbird will take that on the tough. Now we deal 2 encounter cards. First encounter card is Hydra Exo Soldier and a Hydra Soldier that has guard. Exo Soldier has toughness. Okay. Mockingbird is going to attack the soldier with guard for 1, taking her out. I should have put 1 consequential damage on Quake. Quake is going to attack for 2 more, taking him out. Doctor Strange is going to attack for 1. That is 4. That gets rid of the Hydra Soldier. I'm going to use the Eye of Agamotto, Avengers Mansion, and the Helicarrier to cast Magic Blast, deal 5 damage to an enemy, putting Red Skull down to 1, and discard the top card of my deck. It is a wild card, so we stun him, deal 2 damage, and confuse him. Stun, confuse, 2 damage. Doctor Strange wins. The Red Skull has been taken out. That was an epic game. I did some things in the wrong order that you might pick up on, but all in all, just fantastic. Doctor Strange Justice deck is really, really strong. I hope you enjoyed watching. This was a blast to play, and I'll see you whenever I get a chance to film another video. Thank you very much, everyone.